The number 3 thing that Gen Z is spending their money on may shock you because it definitely shocked me, even more than the luxury. What is going on, guys? JC Nita here, and today we're talking about the 3 shocking things that Gen Z is spending their money on. But before we hop into the video, I have a quick question to ask you guys. If this is your second time or more tuning into one of my videos, I would greatly appreciate if you liked and subscribed because it does greatly help the YouTube algorithm. And with that, let's hop in. Number 1 is luxury watches.
I'm about to blow your mind. Gen Z has gone absolutely crazy when it comes to spending money on watches. The average price of a watch purchased by a Gen Zer in 2024 is almost $11,000. Is that not insane? The average millennial spend, on the other hand, is less than half of that, and the average spend by a baby boomer is under $3,000, but they're probably not even capable of opening the PDF from which this study comes, which was conducted by Watchfinder, by the way. Here's some more bonkers numbers. 41% of Gen Z came into possession of a luxury watch in the last 12 months. And over a third think that watches are a better investment than gold or even real estate. The insanity continues. Rolex, of course, is featured on the top of the list of Gen Z's favorites, followed by Cartier, who, quote, is also experiencing real momentum in 2024, especially small and discreet models like the Crash or the Tank. We are certainly seeing strong interest in Cartier from Gen Z. But what is causing Gen Z to behave like a bunch of lunatics when it comes to watches? A staggering majority of Gen Z respondents credited social media trends and influencers for influencing their choices.
What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's ridiculous that Gen Z is spending a lot more money on luxury watches? Do you think that it's a good investment? Do you think it's a better investment than gold? Do you think it's a better investment than real estate? Personally speaking, I'm a real estate investor. I'm going to say no on the real estate. As far as the gold goes, I don't really invest in gold. I know it's a store of value to hedge against inflation. It's something you put away in case the dollar devalues and you have gold. But to me, it's like if the dollar was to devalue, it's probably going to coincide with some kind of big conflict, i.e. possibly a whole nother world war. We have changing around of different governments and countries having more or less power. And gold, I mean, yeah, sure, you might be able to trade with it, but this is not the 1600s. I think there are other things that are more valuable than gold. Now, as far as it being a watch, that I don't think so. But let's hop into another video and see what else is going on here because this is very interesting to me.
I think Gen Z, when we have a little more money, are going to start splurging on Rolex and nice watches rather than like shoes or bags. And this is why. We grew up with technology everywhere. When I go out on a night out, first of all, Apple Watches look so horrible on most outfits. And second of all, I do not want my texts or my work emails blowing up when I'm out at the club on a Friday or Saturday night. Like, no. That technology at the time was so novel where people like millennials like wanted them. And now I feel like there's this going against it of we don't want this technology always on us. We don't want to feel like we always have to answer to our phones. Watch brands need to do a better job of keeping up with this because the price point, yes, is higher than, maybe a bag, but not really if you're talking about designer luxury splurges, which I see a lot of young people in New York buying. The watch companies need to get with this because a lot of legacy heritage clothing designer brands have done a good job of becoming a little more unpretentious to appeal to the younger generation while still holding on to their luxury legacy feeling. But I feel like Rolex, AP, like they haven't done that, but they need to realize that their current target market, the old white rich dad, like that's not a sustainable strategy. I feel like it'd be really cool for a company like Rolex to like go after younger people, get into influencer marketing of the highest echelon. I just feel like it would be different. They're also like an asset. They appreciate in value as opposed to like a pair of shoes when you wear them, they get worn down. Like you can't pass a pair of Louboutins to your kid, but you can definitely give them your watch from when you were 25.
Gonna lie, I was ready to flame her. I was ready to be like, she has no idea what she's talking about. She's a lost Gen Z person. But I'll be honest, after listening to her all the way through, I will say she makes some good points. She's basically saying that a lot of these luxury brand companies that sell shoes and handbags and stuff like this that target younger generations or that now are doing a better job of targeting younger generations instead of the older generations who are now, starting to get aged out. She's saying that luxury watch brands need to do a better job of targeting these people. I think that's actually pretty smart. She's saying, hey, I'm gonna spend my money on luxury items anyway. I don't really care much about Apple Watches and tech watches. Whoa, untapped market. That's not a bad idea. Now, as far as her saying that it's an asset, if you buy a classic timepiece, a classic Rolex, and keep your watch in the regular condition, mint condition, yes, it could be an asset. It can either hold its value or even appreciate a bit. Okay, so the second thing that Generation Z is spending their money on may not come as a surprise to you. It definitely did not come as a surprise to me, and that is vacations.
One thing about Gen Z, we have figured out how to travel with a budget, okay? Does not matter if there's $10 in the account. We're gonna go. We're gonna This article came out and like all the comments on Twitter were like, well, good luck to you in your retirement. But the thing is, looking at what millennials are going through and how they can't even have a midlife crisis because there's no car or house to buy or purchase or splurge on. Like Gen Z has had enough. And they're gonna, travel. They're gonna make that budget. They're gonna do it. And they're gonna maybe walk everywhere. I don't know. But they're gonna travel, okay?
All right, so she was funny, and she makes a good point. It is difficult to buy a house now and to do the classic things that the American dream is supposed to include. But she makes a point. Gen Z are going to find a way to travel, whether that be luxury travel or whether that be traveling with $10 in their bank account, like she said. They're going to find a way to do it. And this is not the first time I've heard this. I've heard that Generation Z values experiences over things. So they value travel and creating those memories with friends and family over, say, buying a luxury item, although that conflicts with the luxury watch thing. But again, two things can exist at the same time.
They're obsessed with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Disney adults are, and they're Gen Z, and they are obsessed with birthday months. I hear birthday month so much with Gen Z. For their birthday month, they spent $2,000 on Disney exclusive passes, and then went to Disney World, spent a lot of money on that. Then they're going to Disney World 2 times next month, and then 1 time in the summer for different birthdays, different birthday months.
Guys, I thought this topic needed some discussion because basically Gen Zs and millennials are now using debt to fund their travels. And as a travel creator myself, I always advocate for getting out there and exploring the world, but I don't mean using debt to finance it. In this article, it says that 42% of Gen Zs and 47% millennials are using debt to pay for their summer travels, and summer travels by this generation is actually substantially high. This actually shows the most popular methods of using debt to finance, so this includes credit cards being paid over multiple months, buy now, pay later services, borrowing from family and friends, and even personal loans. I'm just genuinely wanting to know what your thought process is. Like, you travel now, but then how are you going to pay off the debt later? Are you just, taking up extra side gigs, things like that? I know life is short and it's best to, travel while you're young, yada, yada. But I mean, even this article says that travel happy Gen Zs don't even feel optimistic about their finances, which I mean is completely understandable.
Okay, so I know this video is about Gen Z spending habits, but let's take a moment here. I'm gonna speak from a perspective of a millennial. So as a millennial, when I first graduated college, I traveled with friends. And when I traveled, I did it on a budget. We stayed in hostels, we shared rooms, we ate low quality food, we took weekend trips, we went to places that were off season. We found a way to go and not break the bank. We did not go into debt for it. Going into debt, taking personal loans, taking family loans, taking buy now, pay later loans, and credit card debt to go travel is absolutely diabolical and should not happen. Yes, you're only young once. Enjoy your life, live life, but why not find a way to do it on a budget? Why not get a side hustle, drive Uber, go work at Costco for a little while, pool money together with your friends, and then take that trip? But you want to lux travel. Now again, they're not talking about lux travel specifically here, but if you're going into debt to travel, sounds like a little bit of a lux travel to me. And yes, I'm judging you, Gen Z. I am. The number 3 thing that Gen Z is spending their money on may shock you because it definitely shocked me, even more than the luxury watches. And that's luxury groceries.
Gen Z is splurging on a hot new item. It's actually really depressing. Forget fancy cars, nice vacations, designer handbags. According to Business Insider, younger generations are splurging on luxury groceries. Seems like that whole millennials could afford a house if they'd stop buying so much avocado toast thing has been repackaged for Gen Z. Neat! And it has not gone over well. Food writer Michael Hayes, for example, angrily called it an attempt to gaslight younger generations into feeling shameful for buying food. And of course, the article made no effort to place Gen Z's grocery spending habits in the context of runaway housing costs, rising inflation, insurmountable student debt loads, a messy job market, which has left many young people feeling like one of Hayes' commenters who said, "I can't afford a European summer trip, but I can get the better reusable olive oil." Yeah, you might as well. Saving $2 on a cheaper olive oil, or bottled water to use Business Insider's example, probably isn't going to make Gen Z any more able to buy a house than skipping avocado toast did for millennials. But younger millennials and Gen Zers aren't splurging on groceries just because they want to anyway. Studies and surveys have shown that they're a lot more careful about what they eat than older generations, turning away from the typical American diet, composed of a staggering 60% processed foods, and focusing on a diet that's not only healthier for themselves, but also the planet. And with the runaway inflation we've seen on groceries since 2020, and corporate greedflation continually jacking prices ever higher even now that inflation itself has slowed, all groceries, let alone healthy ones, have skyrocketed in cost since 2020. Splurging is a very weird way to say being forced to spend more on every morsel of food you buy, including, as Hayes pointed out, the McDonald's dollar menu, which is now more like the $5 menu. And in a world where younger generations may very well likely never be able to afford a home or a vacation, let alone things like healthcare, can you really blame them for splurging on things like organic vegetables? It might be the only luxuries they ever get.
Let's talk about this, because obviously whenever I say luxury groceries, I'm just going along with what they said. I think this guy is completely on point. This article is basically a big gaslight, and I haven't read the article. I'm listening to what this guy is saying. I've seen some other videos about this topic, and yes, it's like they're trying to spin inflation and then spin the higher cost of groceries to make it sound as if it's something that Gen Z or younger millennials like myself, quote unquote Zennial, are doing because it's something that is cool and trendy. But really, no, things are just more expensive. I go to the grocery store and buy 7 things and it costs me $120. I'm not buying anything that's outrageous. I'm buying ground chicken and eggs and maybe some lettuce. I don't know. I don't like lettuce, but lettuce for my salad. And you mean to tell me I'm spending $50 for one trip? It's not luxe spending. And yes, what he says also is true. I care about my health. And so when I buy food, I want to buy the best quality food that I can. We're spending more also because, like you said, inflation has at least leveled. I'm not saying it's gone all the way down, it's leveled. But with that being said, why do prices keep increasing for items? Is it supply chain issues? What's really the deal? Or is it really that these grocery stores or suppliers or whatever, whoever the person is in the supply chain is more greedy? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Let's hop into a video about a woman who is actually saying she's going over her luxury grocery haul. So let's talk about that and see what you guys think about this.
Spent $170 at the grocery store on the items in this bag, which is insane. But I actually do think that every single one of these items is going to elevate my everyday eating situation. So I thought that I would share what I got. These balsamic spheres, they kind of look like caviar, but they're little balls of balsamic. And pretty much you can put it on any sort of crostini, appetizer. You take a bite of it, the little balls burst, and you get like a squirt of balsamic vinegar. On that same note, I got the truffle pearls, which same idea. You put the pearls on whatever you're eating, take a bite of it, they burst in your mouth and you get a burst of truffle oil. Excited about this one. So this is rose petal jam. If you look, you can actually see it has pieces of rose in the jam. I've noticed every time that I'm in England, when I get something with honey in it, the honey in England tastes real. It's what I remember honey tasting like as a child. Somewhere along the way, the honey in the United States no longer has that like true honey taste. But something about this honey told me that this is going to taste like real honey. And I got some very stinky cheese and some brie. This literally stunk up our whole car. I got some black currant Dijon mustard. And I got some tarragon Dijon mustard. Pinfish section at this place was insane. So I got some sardine fillets, really good for like an after beach appetizer. Some sausage, makosh, which is just like a poppy seed bread cake. My husband introduced this to me. He's from Slovakia and they eat this a lot. His mom's coming, so we got this for her. Sea salt with a little grater, so you can grate.
All right, guys. So I don't know about you, but this to me does seem a bit like a luxury grocery shopping. None of these items were basic, everyday, essential items that you need to eat. This is all very high-end, fancy rose petal jam and fake caviar, the balsamic bubbles that burst in your mouth, and, you know, some fancy things she said at the end. I don't remember. Some stinky cheese, which if you ever bought stinky cheese, it's not cheap. But at least it's real cheese, unlike Kraft Meyer, Oscar Mayer, Wiener, or whatever they call that cheese. So, but let's hop into another one. Let me know in the comment section what you think about those groceries. Do those seem a little bit outrageous to you? Would you consider that luxe grocery shopping? Let's see what this next person shows her luxe grocery shopping haul.
You guys have loved my luxury grocery hauls in the past, and I had an appointment near Stock today, and I've never done a haul ring there. I found some good stuff, and like just getting nice groceries is one of my favorite little luxuries, so I wanted to show you. I found this French onion soup, and I love French onion soup, one of my favorite comfort foods. And like, look at the croutons. They look amazing. The quality of everything there is just so, so good. Then I got, this is one of my favorite pastas. I get it like every time I'm treating myself there. It is like an eggplant and sausage pasta. So good. And then just to like be healthy and have some salad on the side, I got this kale salad, and I love this one. I've had it before too. Then instead of going for like a little non-alc moment, I decided to get a juice because they did have like wines and like mocktails and stuff, but this is an ume juice, so I'll let you know how it is. It looks super interesting. Then for desserts, obviously, because we love a sweet treat around here, I got a few different things. This was one of the only of their like little potted desserts that I hadn't ever tried. It's a strawberry and raspberry mousse. It looks amazing. And then I got some gelato, which is funny because I was going to go to Barapé tonight, but I decided to go to Stock instead. But they did not disappoint. This is, you can see, Oreo gelato. Oh, it looks so good. And then I'm going to open these. And then I got just like 6 of these little mini tarts because they were so cute. Like, let's be honest, I probably will still eat them all in one sitting, but they were too adorable to skip.
Okay, so what stands out to me about that grocery haul is that everything she purchased is already packaged, chopped up, and it's single serve. So that means that that will last her maybe a day or two. So all the stuff she bought, it can't be for the week. It's not like, so the salad she brought, for example, prepackaged salad in a small bowl didn't look very big to me, which might last her a day, maybe a day and a half. Whereas if she had bought all the ingredients just to make the salad, she could chop it up, save it, have them for the week. So while yes, the first article was gaslighting us saying that we are lux shopping for groceries, when really we're just paying more for groceries because we have to. Some people, obviously, like these two people, are buying things that are considered more luxurious that maybe you would buy if you have more higher income. And they're not, at least from these videos anyways, these videos are meant to be about luxury grocery shopping. Maybe they also buy stuff that lasts them longer, and they're doing this for content as well. So maybe they have an audience that, you know, they're doing it for that audience, which is fine. But there are people like this that buy stuff like this just because that's what they normally eat. So if that's what you're buying because you normally eat it and you're complaining about grocery prices, then something's wrong. So yeah, I will say that both of those situations were definitely luxury grocery shopping. All those items, I guarantee you, each one of those items were no less than $15 a pop for each one of those items. And again, they're not going to last very long. So except for maybe the jams and the jellies, you might be able to say, and the honey, you can save that for a while. But the rest of the stuff, especially the sweet treats, no. Let me know what you guys think about the 3 things that Gen Z is spending the money on. Number 1, luxury watches. Number 2, vacations. And number 3, luxury groceries. Let me know what you think. Are we just getting out of our minds these days? I don't know. You tell me. But until next time, I really appreciate you for sticking around. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Feel free to give the video a like and to subscribe if you feel so too inclined. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.